That was a little longer intro than normal, but wait, whatever it is, it is. Let's get over here. We're good. Welcome aboard. It is July 21st, 2022. July 21st. Wow, we are way deep, way deep into summer over here. Got another month or so, I guess, something like that. During the quote unquote summer season before we start talking about, and you've already seen it, the back to school. Some of those commercials are starting to pop up a little bit. Some of the back to school clothing companies and things like that. So anyhow, we enjoy the summer as much as we can. Get out, enjoy what we are able to go and do. And there's quite a few things going on, which is nice. The beaches are open. Some of them living in the Long Island area, getting to be a little bit more populated with sharks. And hey, I guess that comes with the territory. We're lucky enough. We've got the Great South Bay, got the Long Island Sound up on the North Shore too. Plenty of public pools. Maybe you got a private pool along the way too. You got hiking trails all over the place, which is great. Even a day like today, where it's 90 degrees, really humid, stuff like that. If you can, you get out. Some of these trails. Some of them are paved, some not. I get out in the woods, even if you just go down to these ponds, something like that. Just to get out a little bit, get some air. Cautiously, remember, stay hydrated. Hey, Chris, good afternoon. Remember to stay hydrated no matter what as you are going out there and enjoying your day. Now, Anthony Amon, a friend of mine, has started a walking group. It's on Sundays. It is over at Avalon Park. That's in Stony Brook, which is really nice. Beautiful place. I've been out there. I've hiked that a couple of times over with a friend of mine, and we've gone out and we've gone out in all kinds of crazy weather during the summer. Yeah, during pouring rain too. We were committed to going. So we went anyhow. Pouring rain. Came back totally drenched. Another time the two of us went, it was unbelievable. It was actually during the winter. And again, we made up to go. We was like, comes hella high water, as they say. We were going no matter what. No matter what. So we made early in the morning, went down over there, and it had snowed the night before. So the snow was still sticking on. It was laying on top of the branches. There was no wind. Snow was laying on top of the branches. Nobody was there before us. So the snow was all fresh. It was just great. It was like walking through a postcard. It's like walking through a Burl Ives postcard. Wish I had the camera with me at that point in time. Wish I knew how to use the camera properly at that point in time also, because that really would have been a heck of a photo. More important than that, the heck of a friend. Gary, afternoon to you. Heck of a friend. And that's really what kind of share today, friends. We have different friends that fall into different categories. Some are fair weather friends. A couple of folks is like, yeah, I like going out with that person. Load of fun. Wouldn't trust them. Wouldn't trust them with a business decision, but darn it, man, that woman, that guy really knows how to have a good time. I remember those days, back in college, and actually for the decade after college. It was just a lot of fun. There were plenty of those folks. It was just time to party. I got a feeling I was actually one of those time to party people. Did my day job, and then I just kind of extended out that college year to be a college decade. So be it. A lot of fun doing that. But then there are other people that we rely on, not for the fun aspect of it, but they are a resource. There's someone, look, I got an issue. I want to talk to you about it. Can I set aside some time, to go and chat? Really have a honest to goodness chat about that. Karen, my wife's there too. Karen, afternoon. Really honest to goodness chat about that. That's another friend. Is one friend more important than the other? No, absolutely not. People fall into different categories. And I think in the business world, it's the same kind of thing too. With some of the things I do, there are certain people I would talk to about one thing, others talk to about another thing. You can find somebody you can talk to about everything. Now, That's really super special. Many of us, it's our spouse, Karen. She hears everything. She hears everything, the good, the bad, and there's very little indifferent. Let me tell you, I'm definitely all over the place with a couple of different things. But it's like either super excited or super frustrated. We use that one as it goes along. But having a friend, having somebody you can trust, sounding board, perhaps that's what it is. Someone that's a really good listener, someone that gives you advice. It's all part of it. All part of it. So I wanted to introduce you a couple of folks along the way over here. They're just recent additions, and everybody's got different parts of the whole thing. And I definitely appreciate Carrie, Chris, of course my wife, and others that have chimed in here from time to time. Mr. Grady Foley from yesterday. Always a pleasure here. Goes back to the Toastmaster days. Guy was just absolutely terrific. Wanted to become a better speaker for a reason. Why? Because he wanted to become a minister. He eventually wanted to have his own church. He kept on going. Let me tell you, guy's got his own church. It's really terrific. Really great to see that. Others join Toastmasters or want to become speakers or do things for different reasons, and it's great. But all those people we meet all along the way really become a resource. And that really becomes very important. So, hey, Chris, when it comes to the track stuff, tag, you're it, man. You gotta make sure I don't say anything really stupid. So much stupid, I'll take credit for. But really stupid, whatever. Trying to sound a little bit more intelligent, along the way. But here's what we got. Let's see if I added this thing in there. Hey, we got a couple of people there besides just the comments. Let's see if we could just add the next slide if I threw that in properly. Yeah, here's a new one. Let's add this one on over here. So I mentioned I got a haircut. I probably should have combed my hair for this one. Put the gel in there, made it look as good as possible. But Ted Pritchett, he he got a new salon that's his, International Cup Masters. It's over in Selden. I think it's 2850 Middle Country Road, but it's over in Selden. International Cut Masters with a Z on the end. But he redid the entire place, man. It just absolutely looks great. I can tell you, when it comes to authenticity, the guy was there. He paid attention to every little detail cut in there. So, want to put a plug in there for Teddy today in today's Tomato Talk, friends and stuff like that. Now, Teddy, do I know him well enough to share all my lifelong secrets? No. But certainly having that barber haircut and the barber talk and the rest of it, absolutely. Guy's a good listener, without a doubt. I had mentioned to him about, what I do, why the haircut and stuff like that. And he's like spot on with everything there. Really good. How I got to know him was through another friend, Keith Richards from Toastmasters, from Comedy to Go, stuff like that. It's another relationship, that is a slightly different dimension, because Keith pushed me along quite a bit when it came to the comedy side of public speaking or the improv side of public speaking. So it was a big one there too. And I'm sure you've got a whole lot of friends, a whole lot of people that you've I was going to use the word collected along the way. That actually sounds terrible. But who you have interacted with along the way that have helped you. Let's not forget those people, because every one of them, every person, even the ones that you didn't get along with, they've all had an impact in creating who you are today. The brand, we'll throw that word in there, who you are today. And that really becomes special. I know it's been an interesting ride. Oh, the whole thing. The public speaking side of my world has become quite an interesting ride. I never imagined, really never imagined. I got started on it because I got promoted to a sales manager role and I was boring as can be. So I needed to do something. You kind of take a look back at what I did in elementary school and college. There's always a stage involved there someplace along the way. So maybe it was destined for it. Didn't know, but it's an interesting ride along the way. And every one of those things, every one of those accomplishments, and quite honestly, every one of the failures along the way, yikes, I know I said that word failures, but every one of those events that did not work out to the desired outcome all had an impact in it. In fact, I'm envisioning the first time I got on a comedy stage, and it was in front of 100 or so people, and there's the guy in the front row sitting like this. That's the two of them sitting there with the arms crossed. I was like, oh dear, what do I do? What do I do? Looked at somebody else's, but I did do. I didn't fixate myself on that person. So, hey, kudos to that person for letting me know it's not about that one person that's just not really into it. Of course, the guy had to sit in the front row too. Bless that soul. But in another speaking engagement that didn't work out, that was speaking, not comedy. I was trying to be funny at this one. There was one person that came up to me afterwards. He's like, "Yeah, I understood what you were saying." It's like, I was trying to be funny, but he understood the message. Another impactful moment. Both of them have either been negatives or positive. Which way? And I can tell you, I don't know either one of those men. I don't know their names, never ran across them again, anything like that. But they all have had an impact just for that couple of minutes in each one. And neither one of them was for terribly long. When I was on the comedy stage with the guy who's the arm crossed, I think it was like 8 minutes I was up there for. I don't think he moved, kept his arms crossed out the whole thing. Probably should have sent him a drink or something like that. At least he would have moved his arms to grab a cocktail or something like that. But it's an impact just in that 5 minutes or less, 8 minutes or less, and that kind of thing. But does friendship meet along the way? Something else, really something else. I didn't have too many pictures over here. I think we just got the older ones, but this is Anthony Amon. This is what he's doing. It's a Avalon Nature Preserve. So it's every other Sunday starting. It was starting June 26th. I'm not sure how that filters out. You can go figure that one out. But maybe we'll throw a calendar together. Actually, I'd like to do that. Maybe throw a calendar together for maybe upcoming events and post that on this thing while we get that music going in the beginning as that plays itself out. But let's get rid of that. We'll come back over here. And then of course Donna Drake, Johnny Drake and Joanne Venezia. Boy, oh boy, those were two that had a wild impact. Tim Healy, we'll throw him into that equation too, because that was all the beginning of the hey, I like the microphone thing. Again, who knew? Joanne was taping a TV commercial for a clothing company, and she needed a model. Asked me if I wanted to model for her. Oh yeah, did that. That was kind of fun. So I wound up on Scott Possess's Jobline show when it was on when it was on TV, when it was on News 12. And so they used my photo up there, along with a couple of other people. Here's the photos up there about what to wear, what not to wear. So that was kind of fun. Met Donna that day, and then on a subsequent event, Donna told me she was doing with the studio, and went over there. Got a chance to see her at the taping of Live It Up, Donna's show, which is now called Donna Drake Show, and meet the guests prior to coming on and understanding what they were going through prior to being taped. And it was great. Kind of really got from that, really understood the importance of knowing your value, because these opportunities come up for you to share your value. Donna's been tremendous in that respect. Tremendous. So big thank you to her. And now she's got the studio on over here, which I think I could share a photo or two of that one. I will try to do that while we're here. And so she's continues to expand the studio for, I don't know if I have that one up yet. No, I don't. I'll get those photos up as we go along. Perhaps I can do this while we're talking. But Donna's been expanding the studio tremendously. I think I got photos here. Yeah, let's just pull these up. This is not exactly a photo album per se, but we got that. So she's been expanding the studio So, and then I'll show you right here the podcast room. Let me just get back to our StreamYard page. We'll do a share screen. But what I take away from her at that point in time was, there we go. That's the podcast room. Tim Healy tapes his show over there. So the takeaway on that one, when I spoke to these guests that were getting ready to come on, was that she would tape an interview with them, and it's live to tape, which means you're not editing it unless there's something that needs to be edited, but it is recorded. That's the live to tape as opposed to live. I like going live. Fun. But when with speaking to these guests, they came prepared or needed to come prepared with knowing what their value was and what it is that they really wanted Donna to ask them about to be brought out in this interview. Some were really clear. It was a beautiful thing to hear. Others, not so much. And that was when I really saw the importance in real life terms. It was, oh, yeah, it's important to know what value you provide. This way we go out there and you can tell people. And I tell you that, what value you provide. And if you're clear about it and you tell other people, then they could tell other people. And if you talk in picture form, they could see it. All the rest of that. I don't want to go terribly far into the details on that one. But why do I talk about that? It's because of that. It's because of that moment. These folks were showing up. They were ready to go. They had their moment to shine. And if they really were clear about what their value was and what they wanted Donna to ask them about, which was a question about how they provided value, and Donna was great about getting to that without asking it clear cut. So it's not a setup kind of a question. And the questions were definitely not setup kind of questions, but it was guidance, for her where to go with it. And so if they knew, and then she knew, and it was a great interview. If not, it just became a little bit more of a challenge. So that's when I really tried to, focus in on that. And I can tell you, Donna's great at bringing out the best in people, without a doubt. So even if she doesn't know you and she's got the time to get there, it's great to see that work. And you know what? She's helped me along my path on the interviewing skills. First time I sat down to do a 30-minute interview with somebody, 30-minute, one person, 30-minute straight interview. And that person gave me zero guidance about what they wanted to talk about. It's the first time interviewing people, first time on camera, and it was on camera in a studio, live to tape, and we just did it. We just did it. But I don't think I would have been able to do it. Actually, I wouldn't have been able to do it unless she gave me the confidence to do it. And she gave me some helpful hints and how to prepare and things like that, and where to keep my little notes in case I needed it. Also, how to make sure that my jacket was straight, right? Putting it under your leg a little bit this way, it's nice and straight. And it was great. It was great. It was just absolutely wonderful. I just had such a good time doing it. So anyway, this is her podcast room. Hopefully we got this showing up there. Yeah, that's the podcast room that we got. Mike, good afternoon. And let's go back over here. We can change a few of the photos. So we got that. This is the behind the scenes photo. So she's got a couple of different, this place is so big right now. So she's got a number of different sets that can be used. When she tapes her show, the Donna Drake show, it's with this kind of a setup. You can't see all of it. It's back there. Live It Up board is there. Then back over here, it's a green room. So they're able to use, now let's go back to this photo. Yeah, you got the green room set up. So they're able to tape anything and put that person any place. She rents it out. She's got a couple of professional organizations that are using it also. That's a little bit more of the Donna Drake set. And you can see the lighting there. A little different than the lighting I got over here. Quite a bit different as that goes. I got my ring lights, which I don't even use right now. I just got the overhead lights. So we could probably change that up a little bit more so. But this is the difference. I mean, this is really clear about what the difference is between taping someplace or doing it at home. Will this come out if I'm doing what I'm doing here? Will it come out much better if I use the studio? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. It's a bit more complicated behind the scenes, but all these people are doing their thing. You're not. So you get a chance to focus in on you. The woman who's playing the newscaster over here, or is a newscaster over here, she's just focusing on her side of it. This is the outside room, which is used for a variety of setups. Producer's room, and if you're doing a podcast over there, or a vodcast, you're doing video. Tim does video, and it comes with a producer. So you're hiring the room. We'll go back over here to that. So I want to bring that back. Again, it's a better idea with the green room setup. But since we're focused a little bit more on the podcasting side of things, so that's the room. So what's happening inside of this room, is as follows: you got the table, you got the microphones. I don't use a separate microphone here. I just have the microphone that's in the camera. This room is not soundproof, so if somebody's outside cutting the lawn, bam, you hear it. Every once in a while, you get the dog barking. You don't have that over here. But you got the microphones, table. There is a green screen that can go behind this thing if you so wish. If not. You got three cameras. So with those three cameras, if you had a guest, you can focus on the both of you, one of you, or the other person as that goes. And then those white things that are on the stands, that's lighting, also plus additional, lighting that's in the room. So it's well lit. There's the difference there. So it is kind of, it's great doing that kind of a setup. It's really great doing that kind of a setup if that is something that you are after. Let's go this way. So again, Donna has been a tremendous help to me too along the way. And I want to get in here, Arthur. I'll do one more share on this one. Let's go. Stop that share screen. And one more over here. And I want to play this for you too. And it goes for a couple minutes, so we might be a few minutes over. But let's share that. Let's share that right now. Let's go to YouTube. Arthur's got a whole number of different setups over here. And I want to make sure we show the right one. There we go. This one.
Is your B2B brand represented by a place, space, a face, or something else altogether? I'm Arthur Germain, and welcome to the Brand Telling Podcast. At Brand Telling, we help professional services firms build strong brand stories that can be remembered, repeated, and rewarded with stronger customer relationships and better sales. When you think about your brand, what comes to mind? Is it your headquarters, the place where you do business? Is it the spaces where you work, or is it the faces of yourself and your employees? I think that the pandemic and the work from home situation pushed everyone to think differently about this. And I'm focused on B2B brands here, not consumer brands that have foot traffic, but B2B brands that serve other brands. Apple famously spent $5 billion with a B on its spaceship-like headquarters in Cupertino. And they weren't alone. Prior to the pandemic, many companies were building new company headquarters with open floor plans and things that look like old-fashioned telephone booths that they could use for a private meeting. But now, companies are really rethinking those plans and those leases, and they are looking to downsize, kind of like parents whose college-age children have moved out of the homes. So let's talk about what this all means for your brand. I'm going to give you 3 ways to think about the impact of location on your brand. You may be a little bit surprised. Number 1, your place is not your brand. I know some people are going to disagree, and that's fine. But if you're still defining your place, your location as your brand, it's time to rethink that space. Even if you're Disney, the parks are a huge part of your brand and how you interact with customers, but it's not the only part. all those offices, cubicles, office equipment, or roller coasters, it's still just a place, and it's not your brand. In fact, if every B2B brand sent their knowledge workers home to work or worked remotely, they realized that the old focus on place no longer worked. There was no single place. Number two, your space is not your brand either. Okay, so the next argument that I've heard about this is that people say place has expanded to be space. The workplace became the workspace. And that included all the remote locations where knowledge workers went to work. Their homes, their parents' homes, their pandemic partners' homes, and a variety of Airbnbs all over the place. As long as they had fast Wi-Fi, that was their new workspace. But I don't buy it. I don't think these workspaces, these spaces, aren't your brand either. Number three, the face is your brand. What do I mean by that? I mean that your brand, my brand, are really represented by our people, our faces. This was even more apparent during the pandemic, when work from home meant that businesses had to rely on people they couldn't physically see all day long to behave in ways that still carried the promise and the differentiation and the messages and the stories of their brand. In a way, this is great. Our brands are reflected not by a place or a space, but by the faces of our employees. And in a way, this isn't great either. Your brand hinges on your weakest link. Quick story. I recently attended a live event. Hey, live events hosted by a local IT company sharing some information about cybersecurity and ransomware. And guess what? They came to the same conclusion. In many cases, your brand's security may only be as strong as your employees' ability to avoid phishing scams. Your brand security also hinges on your weakest link. Their recommendation was a combination of technology and training. What this means is that when it comes to your brand story, just like when it comes to your brand security, you need to make sure that your employees are all prepared to share your story exactly that same way. Not with a bunch of made-up messages, but with a unified, consistent, and practiced message. If you agree and you need some help developing that unified story, please schedule an introductory call at meeting.brandtelling.com and let's see if we're a fit. Until next time, I'm Arthur Germain, and thank you for joining me at the Brand Telling Podcast.
And let's get back over to us here. So there we go. Hey, that's Arthur. That's Arthur. That's Donna. That's Teddy. That's you. Because everybody's been a part of this whole trip. Everybody's part of the journey. Everybody's been a part of my journey. Some a little bit more than others, but definitely a part of the journey. And I thank you for that. And we continue on. Somebody was coming up with a website. It was about, the 50 and over crowd. Now it should be 60 and over crowd. I'm not done yet. I don't know if that website ever came to be and it was a big discussion and all the rest of that. But you know what? Definitely not. Definitely not. All in? Yeah, maybe that's the website. Not done yet? Very well. Could be. Somebody mentioned a website. I should change it over to I Know Brian. I don't know. That's a little too self-serving, I think. But we're going to stick with this one, that Strategies of Success or BrianSOS.com. Both wind up in the same place, Brian Strategy of Success. Whatever it is, I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Where it goes, we shall see. We shall see. I know it's microphone related. That much I absolutely know. I also know it's telling stories. With Arthur, it's a matter of telling stories, the brand side of telling stories. With Donna, it's the studio. It's the interviews of telling stories. In other words, who you are, what your value is. With Teddy, something? That hairstyle, that says an awful lot too. How you feel about yourself. You feel really good about your haircut, your hairstyle, the coloring of your hair, if that's the way you go. You want to know something? You're going to feel better about yourself, which all filters into that other thing, the confidence level. Because none of this happens. Nothing happens unless you have the confidence to move forward. Unless you have the confidence to both succeed and, probably more important, the confidence to fail. something I continue to practice on all the time. That confidence level. It's like trying to build it up a little bit more. Is it easy to succeed? No. And actually having the confidence to succeed? Just think about it. What if you did achieve all those goals you had? Are you ready for that? I don't know. That might be the most interesting challenge along the way. So thank you, my friends. You, everybody that's on this thing, everybody I've run across, everybody I've walked with, Tim, Donna, can't include Tim, Joanne, Donna, Teddy, oh gosh, the rest over you too. My wife especially, because she listens to all of this stuff all along the way. We're going to continue this journey. We're going to make things happen. We're going to continue to make things happen. Home studio, maybe we'll gravitate to a full-blown studio at some point in time. Who knows? I do know we're going to have as much fun along the way as we possibly can. And in order to do that, you need to speak well, speak often, live inspired. Yeah, just may inspire somebody else to do exactly the same. All right, let's bring back the tomato. Well, that's not a tomato, is it? There we go. Let's bring that. 1, 2. There we go. A little bit of music. Have a great day, everybody.